All right, let's go ahead and start. All right, good evening, everyone. This is the City of Sugar Land Parks Board meeting. It's 5:30 on March 10th. I'm calling this Sugar Land Parks Board meeting to order. Please note that this is a meeting open to the public and it's being recorded as per the Texas Open Meetings Act, which is also available to the public. First item we have, are there any public speakers?
No one signed up.
Thank you. Next item I have on the agenda is the consideration of an action on the meeting minutes of February 10th, 2026. A motion for.
Make a motion.
Approve. Okay, thank you, Andy. A second? Okay, thank you, Tracy. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, everyone, let's see, so motion carries for the meeting minutes for February 10th, 2026 meeting. Next item I have on here is a workshop, the Farmers Market Program, review of and discussion on the current Farmers Market Program. JP Awayan, Recreation Coordinator, will be presenting. Oh.
I'm gonna come up here.
Oh, Heather, you're presenting.
Well, do your intro. Very good.
Sorry, Heather. You weren't on the list.
Come up on the slide.
There you are. Sorry, Heather.
So my purpose, just really quickly, I am Heather Blue Jacket. I'm the recreation manager. For anyone that might not know me, I have been with the city. I tell everyone this now. I'm pushing a little over 18 years. So I've seen the growth. I've seen everything that we've been doing, and it just keeps getting more and more exciting. So I wanted to give a very, very quick, I think that's why I'm not on here name-wise, because I'm 2 slides and it's a quick overview. Wanted to kind of just let you know about my area as pertains to the 2 recreation centers that I manage and a lot of the programming that we do. First, I think it's most important to kind of point out our staff. They're the ones that do everything. They're the hard workers and make our well-oiled machine. The recreation center has 6 full-time individuals, and that includes myself. It also houses 9 part-timers. The T.E. Harmon Center is 2 full-time people, and we have 2 part-timers. You might look at that list and think it's a little unbalanced, but that's primary for 2 reasons. First off, the T.E. Harmon Center, the majority of their programming is on site, so everything pretty much happens in that building with their leisure classes. The Imperial Park Recreation Center, we're about 50-50. So half of our programming is done on site, and the other half of the services that a lot of our staff offer are going to be off site and not just in that building. The other reason is the recreation center is open 6 days a week instead of 5. And we also are open until 8 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. like the senior center. If you look over here on the right, I just wanted to give you kind of a list of all of the individual titles of everyone working those 2 buildings. Couple of managers, couple of supervisors. I will throw in our facility technician. He does all of the maintenance or little maintenance things between 2 buildings, but I will say that he is probably more so our administrative accountant. He works the front desk if you ever come in. So he kind of does everything all the time, and he's been with the city maybe longer than me, so he knows everything. We also have our part-time staff, which would include our park ambassadors. We have the recreation specialist, and then we also have a reservation specialist on staff. Final slide for me. So just giving you the programming overview. The senior center, as you all know, is 50+. They do their leisure classes. I think right now we're pushing about 70 to 80 different classes that are going on in that building. Those go anywhere from mahjong to yoga to guitar lessons, which is growing rapidly right now. Everything you can think of, senior center is probably offering it right now. They also do trips. Those happen occasionally. Seniors love casinos. Sometimes we do overnight trips with the casinos. We've also been attending a couple of plays in Houston, which seem to be pretty popular with the seniors. We do a couple events here and there. Sometimes they repeat. Sometimes staff just think of new ideas and do something different. I think we've been doing for past a couple of years a crawfish boil. That is huge right now. Everyone loves the crawfish boil. I think we have one coming up in May. And we also have other events. Sometimes they're holidays, like St. Patrick's Day event is coming up March 17th. We have an actual Irish dance group that's going to come with traditional Irish dancing. And then we always do food, music, dancing. And then one other thing to just kind of mention about the senior center is they do their own rentals. I'll talk more about that on the other side. But their rentals for that facility, there's a lot more detail that happens with that rental, and we handle them differently than any other building in the city. So we actually do those rentals just out of that facility with that staff. For the recreation center, open play sports, variety of different sports, volleyball, basketball, badminton, table tennis, and pickleball. We have our leisure classes as well, something that JP does very well. Our camps are coming up. We offer summer camps. It's going to be insane. And every single summer, he adds more and more camp opportunities for people. They don't just come out of the recreation center. A lot of our camps are also in our different community centers throughout the building. So that's some of that external programming that we do, even though staff are housed inside. New addition to the cardio weight room, everyone knows about that. We're trying to program that one out a lot more. And then this is some of the external stuff that I was mentioning. We have a supervisor that's over our YSAs with our youth sports associations. Those are all the different facilities throughout the city: soccer, baseball, softball, etc. We also manage the pool at City Park, which is open seasonal only. And then the rentals is pretty big. Any rental that you see in the facility, whether that's the pavilions, the community centers. We've recently added some fees for pickleball courts that we've also added to. All of that goes through staff that's housed at the recreation center. And then lastly would be the farmers market, which is by JP, and I'm not going to say a word about it because I don't want to take anything that he is going to present to you. So that is me, and with that, I will let JP start.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to present in front of you all today. I'm pretty sure you all have been hearing updates in regards to our farmers market in previous Parks Board meetings, but I do want to start off with a quick background about the farmers market at Imperial Park. It has been a fixture in Sugar Land since October of 2011, so we are approaching the 15 years of the farmers market. It is the longest running market in the area. And so before it, the City of Sugar Land Parks and Recreation Department took it over starting in October 2023, it was oversaw by the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce. So it's been about a little bit over 2 years or so since the City of Sugar Land has taken it over. I do want to recognize an individual who's actually here in the room today. Her name is Caitlin Cedillo. Caitlin, you can stand up real quick for me, please. She is one of our recreation specialists. She is also the person on site at every single market, which takes place every single Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So she's there at 7 a.m. once the first few vendors begin their setup, and she's there when the last vendor leaves for the day. She's been also reviewing all the applications that we have been receiving constantly every single week, and she also executes the various pop-up events that we've been doing every month or so, which I will touch more in depth in just a bit. But Caitlin has been a tremendous asset to our recreation team, specifically with the farmers market. So I appreciate you, Caitlin. So if you haven't been to the farmers market, you should definitely do so. Like I said, it takes place every single Saturday, rain or shine, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's pretty much in the parking lot in between the T.E. Harmon Center and the Imperial Park Recreation Center. Which way? To the left, that is a overhead view of our map layout of our market. To give you a brief history, so when Parks and Rec took it over in October 2023, we started off pretty much with 15 booths. And now we have about 42 booth spaces that we can now accommodate. So you could see the tremendous growth ever since we took it over about 2 years ago. In the past year and a half, we actually had to include the overflow spots, which are those 5 rectangles towards the middle of the driveway right there. And we actually recently included 2 more overflow spots. So as of right now, we can currently accommodate 42 booths compared to the 15 that we started off with when we transitioned the operations to the city. We also have an area to where you see the trees on the top left, we do have picnic tables that customers can sit down and relax at our market. We also have an area where performers or buskers who want to showcase their talent can also perform at our market, as well as a food truck location as well. So I do want to talk more about the growth of our market. So our average weekly vendors from 2025, 33 vendors out of, I guess now 42 total booths. Of course, I want to see that number closer to the 40 or maxed out range, but that 33 is how many vendors on a weekly basis actually showed up at the market. We do have to factor in vendors who may have signed up and dropped out last minute, which unfortunately that is out of our hands most of the time. And of course, weather, since it is an outdoor event. Of course, we know how the Houston area weather can be like. Now that number has increased from 29 back in 2024. So as we continue to grow, hopefully we could see that 33 continue to increase. Ever since we took it over in 2023, we have 201 approved vendors. Now, of course, we don't have 201 vendors that attend the market every single weekend, but that is more of how many applications and how many vendors have gone through the entire process and have been approved to sell at the market. Now, granted, some of them may have fallen off or only attend, as few as 1 or twice a year. Some of the variety, the diversity of the products that we do offer at our market includes food items, fruits, vegetables, plants, jewelry, arts and crafts, pets, woodcraft. And you can see that the majority of approved vendors that we have been having are food related and arts and crafts related. We have, in all honesty, been trying to focus more on the fruits, vegetables and plants, just because we are a farmers market. But to continue with the growth, there are some specific items in certain categories that are currently now on hold because we want to maintain that diverse quantity of products that are sold at our market. So for example, arts and crafts, that's the highest number of approved vendors that we have right now. We are actually on a pause as far as approving those applications right now. So our average weekly attendance in 2025 with the assistance of Placer AI is around 400 attendees, give or take. On the left, you can see the location of how we got those numbers. So that includes the parking lots surrounding the T.E. Harmon Center and the Imperial Park Recreation Center. Now that 400, it's not specifically the number of people who visit or are at the market. That may be foot traffic that is cutting through the market to go to Imperial Park, to the softball fields, or visiting the Imperial Park Recreation Center because the rec center is operational on Saturdays. But how I like to see it is that even on a Saturday, on this chart on the right, that first bar says 2023, 2024, 2025. So you could see the general increase of foot traffic, not only at our market, but around that area on Matledge Way, which tells me that there has been an increase in not only visibility, but exposure of our various parks and recreation facilities. Like I said, Imperial Park Recreation Center, and our farmers market. As far as revenue, this ties in with our average weekly vendors. So last year, we raised about $44,000 in revenue. This is about a 12,000 increase from 2024, which we saw out in 2025. The average weekly vendors was around 33 compared to the 29 back in 2024. To give you a quick background, it does cost $25 for each booth for a vendor to participate at the market every single Saturday. And of course, something that we've always been trying to focus on with our market is the community impact. And this does involve health and wellness. So like I said, we're trying to focus more on getting more vegetables, fruits, and plants vendors out there. We did recently add a new local produce vendor called Indigo Farms. They're actually a local farm just down the road on Highway 90 in Harlem. So you may have, if you go through that area, it's that open land pretty much right in that area. Community engagement. So we've started the inclusion of nonprofits, sponsors, and as well as other Sugar Land City departments wanting to partake in the farmers market. For example, recently we've been having animal services attend our market, civic arts, and then starting next month, Dispatch will also be partaking in our market. Sponsorships. Recently, we had our Valentine's Day themed market. We did have Easy Fiber come out and they provided a free caricature artist for guests to partake. And in exchange, we made sure we mentioned them on all our weekly posts leading up to that Valentine's Day market, as well as waive their booth fee. Performers at our market, I told you about that area where buskers and performers, if they want to showcase their talent, we're able to have performers at our market as well. And our pop-up events, so we did 4 last year, which included our Lunar New Year, our Summer Bash, our Halloween, and our holiday themed market. So you can see that our theme markets are around like holidays, but we are hoping to have more of that on a monthly basis, to where in addition to the regular hustle and bustle of our market, adding extra activities, activations that guests who pass by the market can partake to. And of course, importance of shopping local. In addition to National Farmers Market Week, which takes place first weekend of August, if you do not follow us on social media yet, on Facebook and Instagram, Farmers Market and Imperial Park, every single post, there is some type of verbiage that has either hashtag shop local, support local businesses. So that's something that we always try to remind our followers. And here are some of the pictures from our pop-up / theme market. So recently on the top left, we had our Lunar New Year celebration. We had the magician come out during our summer bash. We had Santa visit the market and was able to take pictures with families, our Valentine's Day theme pop-up. So like I said, it's just more activities that people who pass by our market can do. Feedback from our community. So of course, this is important to us as we continue to grow. We also love hearing ways of how we can continue to improve. We currently have an ongoing survey for our vendors, which includes questions like how many times per month you attend the market, are the current hours of 9 to 1 convenient for you, do you prefer different hours? So on the bottom left, that specific question is how many Saturdays per month do you usually participate at a market? The purple, which is right now 2/3, 4 or more Saturdays per month. So that just shows a good amount of vendors that do enjoy participating at a market every single week during the year. And of course, we've been receiving feedback not only from our survey, but also comments on our various social media pages as well. And here's some continuous feedback. The bottom right, one of the questions on that survey was on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you recommend our market to other vendors, and as well as based on daily operations of our market, customer feedback, etc. And we are at a 9.33, which I think is pretty good. And our goal is to keep that number above a 9 at all times. So looking ahead, I know I've been touching base on adding more booth spaces, continuing to expand, increasing the number of pop-up events now more on a monthly basis, maintaining the diversity of products, increasing revenue, which goes hand in hand with also potentially adding more booths in the future. And something that we are really excited about, and we've actually gotten feedback from some of our current vendors as well, is hopefully a night market. That is in the pre-planning stages, and I hope that that does come into fruition in the near future. yes.
All right.
Say, I have a question and a comment. The comment is very excited about the idea of a night market. I think that would be very cool, and would diversify the audience. My question is, what are the kinds of criteria you use to select who's gonna get?
So the primary thing is the products must be handmade or homemade by the applicant themselves. We do not allow any franchise businesses. We want to continue to include people that are primarily local. And then there's some other factors as well, but primarily it must be handmade or homemade by the vendors.
I have a question. So you have 201 vendors pre-vetted, but average 33 show up. So how does that work? Are they pre-assigned to a spot? Was it first come, first serve? How does that work?
So the majority of our vendors, they could book a booth 90 days in advance. We do have grandfather vendors who were and are at the market since that transition from when the city took it over. So they could book it up actually up to a year in advance. But the majority of vendors can book up to 90 days in advance. So basically first come, first serve.
Basically, you have a calendar where they just kind of put their name down and
Correct. Yep.
show up.
Yes, yes. So they go through our registration catalog. They'll click on the specific Saturday that they're interested in. And if it's within the 90-day time frame, they'll be able to see which spots are available for them to sign up.
Any other questions?
Okay,
Go ahead, Andy.
okay, so I frequent there every once in a while. So one of your 400 attendees, my family and I go there. And one thing that I really appreciate, thank you so much, Caitlin and JP for this. And I go there and I remember having that large public fan. If we lose our kids, looking around, we look toward the fan, they're standing in front of us, it's like, but yeah, we go there, we get the honey, look at the woodwork stuff, and especially my wife and my son loves the coffee, the Vietnamese coffee there. So those guys are always in that one spot. So we're talking about how some areas are always the same, kind of like the fruit, vegetables, the food truck. You go there, you know where they're going to be. So there's only like a small handful of newer people. But other than that, I was like saying that the public fan, yes, good. And then I can't wait to see the workings of the possible night market and different crowd. And I'm not sure if they're going to serve like wine or something like that. That'll be fun. But
Well, I can do that.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Sounds like a vendor opportunity.
Go ahead, Chris.
Just following up on obviously you said the food people and the crafts people were kind of your bigger, the majority of your vendors. Of that 33, do you have any kind of tracking or data points that say how many are coming each week? Is it mostly food? Is it mostly crafts? Is there any way to?
It's a pretty much 50-50. But of course, during the holidays, we get a lot of the arts and crafts vendors wanting to come out because of Christmas and all that.
And on the foot traffic, from the data points, can you tell, are there times where the foot traffic increases related to, say, softball season starting and things like that? You may be able to differentiate between the foot traffic that's coming through to get to the ball fields versus people that are actually coming to the market, and kind of figure out,
Right.
maybe you can normalize that across some of your data.
So with the help of Placer AI, so that chart was specifically from 9 to 1, which is our marketing hours. Now, there are going to be times to where softball is taking place when the market is happening. So that's something that I could definitely look into, but there's most likely going to be that overlap.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that you might be able to get a better picture knowing that, softball starts at whatever time it starts. Maybe it's 8 to, but but you might be able to see in March when their season kicks off that's where you're getting a lot more foot traffic, but it's probably related more to an event going on versus the farmers market.
I have a question, more questions. So as I've gone to a lot of farmers market, I'm frequent this farmers market in Sugar Land. Now, do y'all also attend other locations in the Houston area and other locations outside possibly to get ideas or some other aspects of kind of marketing or trying to bring more people in that, or maybe more targeted towards, let's say, in this case, fruit and vegetables that you want to target? Have you had those ventures outside our little area of Sugar Land versus this other cities, Houston, as an example?
We have not currently, but that is definitely something that I would like to do in the future, just to see like how other markets are ran and how they handle things. Marketing is something that we want to continue to improve on just because of that switch of locations in the past. But
Because, when I go to different cities for vacation, I usually go find a market somewhere, to go get something. And see, I mean, I've seen bands show up there and in beachfront areas where they have markets. I mean, just other ideas to that. So just curious. Any other comments or questions? But I do love the growth that y'all have, by the way. So any other comments or questions? All right. Heather, JP, thank you so much. And Caitlin, of course, thanks for all your hard work on this. Appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, we have the director's report. The Parks topic, coming events recap. So William Hodgick, interim director of Parks and Rec, will be presenting.
And before y'all leave, thanks, Caitlin, Heather, and JP. It takes a lot of effort, as y'all can see. We talked about events last meeting, right? Carla, and how much behind the scenes there is on those. But the reason we want to bring some staff in and start talking about some of the I could say normal weekly things that we do is just to educate y'all, but also y'all can see all the behind the scenes that it takes to get a market together. Something that we didn't do several years ago, and all of a sudden now it fell in our lap, and I love to see all the staff has taken so much dedication and time into bringing in the activations, the sponsorships, and keeping in mind that the market brings in sales tax for the city of Sugar Land. So JP and Caitlin, one of the things that they do, and Heather, is make sure that they all have their sales tax up to date. And that's part of the vendor process, right? So that sales tax, that 8.25% goes back to the city when they sell items that are sales taxable. And so it's awesome, JP, Caitlin, Heather, what y'all done, and others. There's more staff that are involved in it as well. And every Saturday, rain or shine, and I know me and Ella, we've gone to the market several times, and yes, my wife likes the Vietnamese coffee, but Ella was even talking to Caitlin about how can she start selling her bracelets in the market. And so Caitlin was walking through Ella on that. But it's just exciting to see all the staff and Caitlin there smiling and walking personally, making sure all the vendors are comfortable and having a good time and answering questions, and bringing out fans when it's hot, bringing out snow cones to celebrate Parks and Rec Month, the Lunar New Year. It's really cool to see how they have gone above and beyond really to make the vendors feel at home, but also help get the tourism to the market. So I really appreciate all y'all done over there. Really good job. I think we might have found a new presenter for Parks and Rec. I think we found. Oh, they're tired of me. They're tired of me. They like the new faces.
Ask another question as I walk out the door. If you don't have the answer, you can give it to him. Since he brought up the sales tax, do you have any idea of the revenue generation on average? No. That's how much he makes off fees. I'm talking about vendor commerce.
there's something for your service.
Somebody has that reporting. I don't know what department does that, but I know we've done it in the past through another, I don't know.
Look at it.
He mentioned 8.25.
Someone does that.
I think it's a combination of economic development and treasury.
Yeah. I know we could.
It was just he was highlighting how much revenue you bring back, and I'm like, okay. We're magnitude vendor sales. Anyway, it was really good. It was really good to see. I haven't been there in a long time. Last time I was there, it was across the street and.
Under the
We haven't been back.
shed.
This was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thanks. We'll see you later.
All right, director's report. Okay, so the Parks Department has been obviously very busy the last month. Since we last visited with y'all. Spring is here. It has come. And so our Parks Department and Recreation Department are really busy in the springtime. And so one of the things that the maintenance guys have been up to and working with development is refreshing our parks. And one of the things they did was add a new disc catcher baskets and signage at the Imperial Park disc golf course. It's a very popular disc golf course, and the baskets were getting aged out, the signage was fading. And so Caitlin in the development department in Lynn worked really hard with Jorge to update the signage and the disc catcher baskets as well. So kudos to those guys and gals for really giving that. We got a lot of good feedback on this as well. So it's one of our 2 disc golf courses in Sugar Land. The other one is at Brazos River Park. It's newer. So this older course needed a refresh. Memorial Park splash pad is under construction. You probably have seen the fence over there at Memorial Park, and that is going to be this awesome splash pad at Memorial Park. Hopefully we'll have it completed before the end of summer. That's the goal. But these projects do take time, and we're going to try to just get it expedited and going as just as soon as possible. So HD construction is busy out there constructing what you see here, the splash pad. So we'll give you all more updates as that project moves along. Of course, funded by Sugar Land 4B.
So on that particular one.
Yep.
I've seen the fence up and it looks like there was some digging around the
Wood chips.
sidewalk, right?
No, this wood chips, they had wood chips on the side.
Yeah,
This is
so
weird.
that's their construction entrance from the road.
So when do you expect them to, I'll say, break ground for real?
Yeah, so that is their breaking ground. And so that's their survey. They're done. We ran into a good situation where their bid came back lower than what our budget was. So we asked Vortex, the supplier of the feature, HD Outdoors, the general contractor. So we asked Vortex and HD what could we do to change out some of the features to a little bit more upgraded features. And to make it a little bit more lily pad lake themed, since we did have some money available. So I admit part of the problem of the holdup was me. I asked for some changes, and so they just gave us that change order today. So our project manager in engineering is reviewing that change order, and then that's going to require a little bit of redesign. But Vortex said it shouldn't be a problem, and so we should be back on track out there pouring concrete.
I wasn't worried about track because I don't know the schedule. I'm just curious when they're gonna start.
Probably any week now, we should be excavating and pouring concrete.
We're getting an upgrade.
Now that we're back on track. Yeah, it is gonna be some upgrades. I could show you all those upgrades in a future rendering once the change order has been approved. And I can probably give you all an update in a later meeting on that. But there was a bucket drop that looked a little bit more lily-like, and there was a butterfly that shot water out of its kind of a nose area or mouth area, and that we thought would better fit the theme. And it really wasn't much more money, but because we had some additional funding, we really wanted Vortex to get it right. So that held us up a little bit, I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to say that I'm the holder upper of projects, but man, I want to get this splash pad right. Y'all can see it's got a pretty large shade structure. This rendering kind of shows it a little bit on the small side, but it's actually larger than that. And so that'll be on one side so that parents can have a place to catch some shade while they visit, in addition to the pavilion that's pretty close by. So we're really excited about that project breaking ground and continuing to make progress, and me not getting in the way of progress anymore. The development team works closely with the maintenance team to really get volunteers involved in our park maintenance and development. And one of the things that Caitlin and Fonlin decided to do, work through the spring break coming up next week, to get kids and parents involved in doing some refreshing of our landscaping at Imperial Park Recreation Center and Imperial Park. And so starting Monday, Caitlin and Fonlin and I are gonna teach some volunteers how to plant some plants and mulch. And so we'll be doing some pretty light but awesome planting of about 115 plants around the Imperial Park complex. And it's the first time we're doing really kind of planting, landscaping with volunteers, but we're gonna give it a shot and see how it goes and hopefully educate them. And then also refresh some of our park areas that have some bare spots. Mostly from the freeze, but just plants die over time. So we're gonna really have some fun with volunteers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And we're really excited about that and getting the volunteers more involved. It's gone excellent with the plant paintings at Jim Cooper and doing some trail maintenance at Cullinan Park. So we figured, let's keep up the trend. Let's keep it moving. The maintenance team, of course, have been doing a lot of spring cleaning and getting ready for opening days. Our opening day ceremonies have passed. They were a lot of fun. The mayor came out and gave a talk, and city staff were there as well, council members. But we were really working hard over the spring to get the ballparks cleaned up, any dead trees removed, facilities washed down, and then some facilities got painted. So the staff are always looking at things that they can do to improve things. One of the things that staff take a lot of pride in is solving problems. At Imperial Park, the landscape planner concrete blocks were cracked and some of them were falling over, and Matt couldn't find a replacement. And so instead of redesigning the entire planting bed, the staff got really creative and poured a mold, dyed concrete, and poured their own blocks. I would have much rather bought the blocks, but they weren't for sale anymore. Oftentimes manufacturers stop selling blocks and move to new blocks. And it's a way that they can make more money. It's a way they don't have to keep stock keep bricks in stock forever and kind of lose money. And so Matt and the team got creative, and our carpenter team there literally poured a mold and poured in our own concrete blocks. So just letting y'all know that we're always trying to think outside the box. And we do help with ribbon cuttings. There was the Montclair Drainage Improvement Phase 2 ribbon cutting that we assisted engineering with because our team brings the fun to the city of Sugar Land. Yes, the team is working really hard because in less than 2 weeks, we have our awesome Kite Festival event. Carla talked a lot about that last month. But it's here, it's coming. And yes, we need one more judge. Michelle are all ears. If you want to volunteer to be a judge, thank you for those that have already signed up. But that's coming up from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on March 21st. We're expecting about 12,000 people to come out to the Crown Festival site in Brazos River Park to participate in our awesome cultural art and kite festival at 10 a.m. And so staff is working really hard to getting the park ready for the event, getting our sponsors lined up, our vendors lined up, and just get the shuttles lined up for on-site parking and the shuttles from University of Houston. And so, of course, all hands on deck for Parks and Recreation, working alongside police and fire and public works and all the other city events helping us with this awesome event. So we're really looking forward to this. T Harmon the center is always up to something, always fun. And they did a share the love wall, of course, for Valentine's Day, right? And so staff and Harmon Center members could write a note of gratitude on the wall and as a way to share it with others. Of course, they did a double holiday. They celebrated the Lunar New Year and Mardi Gras all in the same day. So they're always looking to engage the residents and have a lot of fun. There's the staff there taking some pictures of the festivities. And of course, they also celebrated Lunar New Year that same day with dancing and more festivities. So they're always looking to engage the staff. Fun fact, me and Sandy there in the red shirt just got done with the with the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation, where we accepted a $10,000 donation from Dr. Kramer to do improvements at the Harmon Center. So we just accepted that at the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation, and we'll be going to City Land Council for the donation acceptance. So Sandy and Jake and the staff can put that $10,000 to good use. I think it's his 4th donation check to the T Harmon Senior Center. What's that tomorrow? Coming up tomorrow?
Yeah.
Part of the donation was is gonna go towards refelting the pool tables. They're really well used and loved pool tables at the Harmon Center. We will be presenting the senior center plan. The Harmon feasibility and expansion study plan next month. That's the plan. We'll be bringing in BRW to go over the results of that plan and the conclusion of that plan. I know a lot of y'all were there at the open house number 3, and y'all learned a lot about it there, but this will be going over with y'all specifically the conclusion of that plan next month. So we're excited about bringing that to y'all next month. And they'll be celebrating on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So they're always up to something over there. Youth camps. Heather hit on this a little bit, but there is going to be a youth camp over spring break, a basketball camp. And then of course, JP is working hard at getting the summer camps prepared. That's right around the corner, believe it or not. So summer is right around the corner. We talked a little bit about this last meeting, but the pop-ups in the parks are well underway. The goals are being installed right now. Ryan will be putting out the cones and the soccer balls on Monday to officially launch the soccer pop-up parks at 5 parks, 6 pitches. And they're just a way to activate the parks and to encourage soccer play. No reservations, no worries, just go out and play some soccer in our parks. There is going to be these rule signs and educational signs at each pop-up. And Easy Fiber is our sponsor, and they will be on our soccer nets, our signage, and our soccer balls. So we're really looking forward to that. So they started going out yesterday, and Allison at Visit Sugar Land already reported that she saw several families out using them already. I guess they brought their own soccer ball. But we will have everything you need for soccer starting Monday. Ron's on vacation this week, so we would have probably put him out a little sooner, but he's on vacation this week, and he promised me first thing Monday he'll have it all out there. But the goals are going out right now because it's hard to do that all in one day, and Matt wants to jump on it and get it done. So you'll start seeing the goals out.
Yeah, I saw him in Memorial Park this morning.
Yes, sir. Signing. Yep. That's us getting ready for the World Cup and activating our parks. And the farmers market, y'all got it. Y'all got a pretty good briefing from JP, Heather and Caitlin on that. But they're always looking at doing something either for Valentine's Day or celebrating Lunar New Year and activating the market more. Community events. Yes, we're in charge of all things in the city. Community events. We did have the Running of the Hearts 5K at Town Square that we permitted and oversaw. Oyster Creek Park had the Mardi Gras Masquerade Run, and Sugar Land Memorial Park had the first annual Egyptian American Society Family Fun Run. And of course, the Venero Circus was at our Crown Festival site for over a month. And so now the site, they're gone. The site is getting ready for our Kite Fest. So with that, I'll be happy. And there's a lot more information in y'all's packet. I can't possibly go over everything. But with that, I'll take any questions y'all have. Go ahead.
Yeah, first. I don't know if I heard him.
You mentioned the pop-up play for to bring awareness for FIFA coming up. I know Sugar Land's one of the participants for that. So is there going to be other park associated with the upcoming World Cup?
Good question. Visit Sugar Land's over that. But I know that Ryan is working in recreation, is working with an activation at the Constellation Field for some soccer clinics in conjunction with that World Cup. We are a host city. So I know Ryan's working on that. And I know that the website is pretty updated. The Visit Sugar Land World Cup website is pretty well updated. There's a QR link actually on our signage that links you straight there. And they're working with Town Square Reebies to do some watch parties. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There was something I was going to mention and I just completely blanked out. But yeah, I know that Brianna is assisting with helping Visit Sugar Land on those watch parties, anything they need from Parks and Recreation on that. But that's the two main things that Parks and Rec is going to be doing for the World Cup.
Thanks.
All right, so just a question about the volunteer thing that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Basically, because high schoolers wise, is that something that you get for credit, or is this something that that they?
You can get volunteer hour.
That's what,
Yeah.
yeah, volunteer hour.
That's
They
what
absolutely-
Ryan pushed on spring break. A lot of them need it for their
Yeah.
college application.
Exactly. So the weather's cooler. The summertime, it gets hot. It's hard to do things in the summertime. We tried last summer. The participation was pretty low. It was really hot. So we thought we'd try to activate more in the spring. Break and the fall break. And so in the fall, we painted Jim Cooper room. The spring, we're trying some plantings. And yes, we'd be happy to work. We're working with the volunteer office to make sure they get their school volunteer credits.
Yes, I
Yes.
see that, but I guess you have to look online because it's like something below, like to sign up, look below, but I guess you go
Their
online.
link, it's just small. It's on social media, but
Yeah,
so just, for this event, it's 14 and up. But anything under 18 needs a parent or guardian waiver, but 14 and up, so.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a teenager per se, only for 14.
14 and up, and they will get hours for their school.
So
And it's Serve Sugar Land. It's through Serve Sugar Land, which is our official volunteer program that City Hall runs, but we partner with them.
So I attend the Fort Bend Master Gardener at least once a month or so. And they have different programs for different whatever, plantings, fruit trees, and just everything that under the sun regarding them. Is there a consideration? I know it's too late because it's March 18th, 16th. What's that, 16th of the 19th?
Yes, sir.
Eyes are blurred, but anyway, maybe consideration for the future for partnering with them, because they're fantastic knowledge. There's groups of people with such great knowledge of
Sure.
different types of planting.
Absolutely.
and
We
trees.
do partner with the Texas Master Naturalist for the butterfly garden and the pocket prairies at Cullinan Park. And they do educational sessions out there. They've done a bug night out there at the butterfly garden, and they maintain a lot of the Cullinan pocket prairies.
We've worked with Texas A&M agricultural group. I forget the exact title of the A&M, but they've worked with them on anything such as soil conditions, soil remediations and just whatnot.
Awesome. Yeah.
AgriLife.
AgriLife Extension, sure.
And is there another question? Is there a consideration, maybe even if there's an option for this, planting fruit trees out in the memorial as an example?
We can certainly consider it. Fruit trees can be tricky.
Yeah.
Can be very tricky. And they don't like the freeze, and we've had quite a few freezes. So we really would love to consider it, and we would consider it. We just don't have a full-time arborist, so growing things that aren't easy to grow can be tough. And so pollinators has been our main theme at Memorial Park Butterfly Garden. Pollinators.
I grow trees, the fruit trees that are really tolerant to freezes, and I don't do that much with it. I mean, I still take care of it normal wise, but I don't do anything extraordinary, fig trees, banana figs.
We do cover up the butterfly garden. It's a pretty big effort. We get volunteers on that, but the freezes come with little notice, so it's hard to get volunteers on a short notice. So we really want to make sure what we're going to do is long-term sustainable, and fruit trees is tough, but with something we can definitely consider, sure.
This is why I brought up Fort Bend Master Gardeners. Those guys are just fantastic across the board. So I know
Sure.
they do volunteer work all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah,
thank you.
we're excited about putting some more volunteers to work. They're free. Of course, they need supervision, but man, we get good groups, really, we do, and they love our parks. They really do.
And I'd be happy to volunteer with this, planting the fruit trees and stuff like that. I mean, that's some of my stuff I like doing. Any other questions or comments? No. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. Appreciate your.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all's time.
All right, well, thank you very much. Can I get a motion for adjourn? Andy, second?
Second.
Kelsey, thank you so much. With that said.